Please read these descriptions about your last date in writing. Can you sense which one is being serious and which one is being sarcastic? Here's the answer. In 2005, Kruger, Epley, Parker, and Ang published a study titled Egocentrism Over Email. Can we communicate as well as we think? Their answer was simple. We can't. Today we will take a look at why. Researchers found that email senders routinely overestimate how well their tone and intent are understood. Why? The simple answer is that we hear our own voice in our heads, but our readers don't. The egocentrism over emails. The study we present today tested the hypothesis through 5 experiments. In the experiments, participants sent sarcastic, funny, or serious messages via email and voices. Those who used email believed their messages would be understood just as well as those spoken aloud, but results showed otherwise. Sarcasm was identified correctly only half of the time through email. This egocentrism, which is our tendency to rely on our own perspective, blinds us to what the recipient actually experienced. Now let's take a look at each of the experiments. Study 1. Study 1 tested whether senders could successful communicate sarcasm via email. Each participant received a list of 10 topics and was asked to write 2 one-sentence statements about the topic. One should be sarcastic, which the intended meaning is opposite of literal meaning. One is being serious. Participants were told not to use emojis. Each email included only the typed sentence, no added tone cues. For instance, if the topic is food, you can write the serious sentence as, "The food in the cafeteria is usually fine," and write the sarcastic sentence as, "The cafeteria's cuisine could easily compete with a 5-star restaurant." Or, when the topic is sports, you can write the serious sentence as, "I'm not much into college football," and the sarcastic sentence as, "Nothing beats sitting in the freezing rain to watch us lose again." After participants wrote sarcastic and serious statements, they emailed them to another participant. Results find that senders thought receivers would understand them correctly 97% of the time, but receivers were only accurate 84% of the time. People were overconfident in how clearly they conveyed the sarcasm. But people are in general overconfident in their endeavors. After study 1, we still don't know if the overconfidence has anything to do with the email. So in study 2, researchers contrasted the overconfidence people display when communicating with email with the overconfidence they display when communicating with their voice. This study was a 2x2 design. The same statement was communicated through 2 methods, email versus voice, and the accuracy of the receiver was measured as anticipated and the actual accuracy to determine if the statement is being sarcastic. Results showed that voice communication was far clearer. The actual accuracy was about 73% for voice versus 50% for email. Yet, the anticipated accuracy, which is the confidence level, was the same, meaning people didn't realize email was less effective. They showed greater overconfidence in email than in voice communication. While participants in Study 1 and Study 2 were all strangers, in real life, email communications are mostly among people with some familiarity. So in the third study, researchers compared the effect among friends versus strangers. and they added the face-to-face media to have the comparisons among email, voice, and in-person. In terms of comparing the overconfidence across different media, the results in study 3 are consistent with study 2, that overconfidence was the greatest in email. And in this study, they found that familiarity does not matter. When you're communicating with friends compared to strangers, it does not reduce the miscommunication. And the main source of the misunderstanding is from the lack of vocal tone rather than body language. Because the voice communication and in-person communication showed similar results. Then why do people overestimate their ability to communicate over email? Study 4 tested why overconfidence happens. Participants in this study read their own sarcastic message out loud in either a matching tone, which is being sarcastic, or in opposite tone, which is being serious. After recording each sentence, participants in both conditions rated how sarcastic or non-sarcastic the sentence sounded to them on a scale, and then predicted whether the other participants in the experiment would be able to correctly identify the statement. Then they measured the anticipated and actual accuracy for the same phenomenology and opposite phenomenology. As you can see from the figure, those who rate in the opposite tone become less overconfident. When they vocalize their statement in a manner inconsistent with their intended meaning, they alter their own subjective perceptions of those statements, making their sarcastic statements sound less sarcastic and the serious statement less serious. As a result, overconfidence disappeared. These findings show that egocentrism is a source of overconfidence in email communication. Study 5 was intended to supplement previous results by exploring what might be an even more common variety of miscommunication over an email: humor. Informal observations suggest that attempts at humor are often less successful over email than one would think. A funny joke, amusing anecdote, or hilarious tale often does not pack the intended punch over email. Participants were asked to email a series of humorous deep thoughts by Jack Handay. Some participants watched the video clips of the jokes, hearing tone and timing before emailing them. Others just read them. Those who saw the videos thought the jokes were funnier and predicted their email readers would also find it funny. But readers didn't. Again, in this study, egocentrism distorted perception. Across these studies, researchers found that overconfidence effect, which people think their email tone is clearer than it actually is. Media matters. Miscommunication is more likely in text-only channels. When we miss the tone, facial expression, gestures, it's hard to interpret subtle emotions like sarcasm. To write a message, maybe you should add clarity markers like emotions, context, or explicitly tone indicators to make the message clear. And familiarity doesn't fix it. Even friends misread each other's tone in emails. In terms of why, egocentrism is the key. The more we hear our own tone, the less we realize how unclear it may be to others. And receivers are also overconfident. They often think they understood the email's intent when they didn't. Overall, like the author stated, because email communicators hear a statement differently depend on whether they intend to be sarcastic or funny, it can be difficult to appreciate that their electronic audience may not. Do you have any experience with miscommunication through emails? How would you plan to improve the communication on writing? Thanks for watching.